Attention, everybody. The views expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. So without any further ado, here's a rerun of Something to Celebrate with Tom, Amber, and of course, Gracie, the intern. This was a really good episode. So take it away, everybody.
Good morning. This is Amber.
And Tom.
And Gracie.
And this is Something to Celebrate. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have a great show today.
Yes.
And we have sunshine today.
Yes,
We
we
do.
do have sunshine.
we have actually been dealing with a deluge of opposite than sunshine, but thankfully.
Deluge, that's a good word.
A deluge. Well, the funny thing is my local park has become an open swimming pool.
Wow.
Wow.
Not that I think it's necessarily a healthy place to go swimming, but I did see a few neighborhood kids swimming in puddles, you know.
Yes, when your backyard becomes a pond.
It's funny because my mom used to warn me of that when we would go puddle jumping, and we would climb through the sewer system. When we were kids, we were small enough to do that. And
I can honestly say that as a kid, I never played in the sewer system.
hey,
I
we were
did.
the part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle generation. I mean, yeah. And my mom said that you could drown there.
Yep.
And then be flushed out with the rest of, the toilets.
Yeah, there we go.
Have you ever played in the sewer?
I lived in the country, so we just played in regular puddles.
They just had outhouses.
Good old-fashioned puddles. We did have a peat bog. That was quite a time. And it bred mosquitoes. So I grew up in the swamps of Ohio.
Swamps of Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they do say do not swim in the puddles. I don't know what
Yeah,
could be.
because there's all kinds of fun little creatures that could just come and be your friend inside of you, and that would not be fun. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we didn't like our dog swimming in the puddles. We're like, he's going to get tapeworm.
Yeah, tapeworms is
Yeah.
not a fun thing.
So,
And
I mean,
growing
that's
up in
pretty sad.
Florida, I learned
You don't want
the
to swim
hard way.
anywhere in Florida.
yeah. You
Nowhere in
don't
Florida is
you don't go
safe.
swimming in the creeks. We were out there playing in the creek one time, and here comes Mama running in from the house. There's water moccasins. In there.
Oh
Get
my
out of there."
gosh.
So,
Yeah.
boo!
Oh.
4 kids just.
Yeah, water moccasins aren't
Yeah.
generally
No.
something you want to
we
swim
got those
with.
in Ohio too, because I would hear about like my brother's friend one time like encountered one, and I
Yeah,
don't remember if he like wrestled it or if what happened. but
wrestled
it.
it.
Was, he wrestled. He was like, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so exciting
Yeah.
that the whole jumping into the puddles. We used to love that at the end of the street, but yeah, we'd have to be careful about that. My kids actually love to go to the what is it called, the fountain at Jordan Valley is actually a really fun place to hang out.
Yeah.
And we thank you, Katie, for joining us
Katie is
today.
here.
Katie Baker
Baker.
in the house. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We are talking about puddle jumping.
Oh, that's my favorite.
We were talking about the deluge of water lakes that have been coming into our parks and backyards, and people in the Springfield and Missouri area probably enjoying those puddles a little bit too much.
Yep.
So on that note, Tom, you have a word of the day.
Yes. The word of the day is obelisk, not
Ob-
obelisk,
Not obelisk.
which is kind of that statue
the
looking,
little-
the tall, skinny thing, kind
Yeah.
of like what the George Washington Monument. But obelisk, Obelus, is the symbol that we use for divide by. So the horizontal line with a dot above.
Obelisk.
But now you
That
know.
has a name besides the division symbol.
Yeah, there we go. So the word for division symbol is obelisk.
Obelisk.
I need to find a way to incorporate that into my life.
I need
Yeah,
to.
there we go.
I need to tell my. Need to tell my 6th grader so she can just wow her classmates for that.
So she can go to Jeopardy and make $1 million.
That's awesome. So, and Tom, you have a natural solution for us today. Is it
Yes.
against tapeworm?
Well, no, it may be against everything else, but Reversitrol supports heart health and helps with stress and mental functionality. I think I need some help with mental functionality today.
I feel that.
Early research, according to WebMD, suggests Reversitrol might help protect you against things like heart disease. It's thought to reduce inflammation and lower your LDL or your bad cholesterol and make it more difficult for clots to form that can lead to heart attack. It also helps work against cancer, could limit the spread of cancer cells and start killing them. Helps with Alzheimer's. It may protect nerve cells from damage and fight plaque buildup that can lead to the disease, and diabetes. Reversitrol helps prevent insulin resistance, a condition in which the body becomes less sensitive to the blood sugar lowering hormone insulin.
Oh wow.
The condition can lead to diabetes. Researchers
Oh,
believe that Reversitrol activates a gene believed to protect the body against the effects of obesity and the diseases of aging. If you use blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin or NSAID medications like aspirin or ibuprofen, check with your doctor before using Reversitrol. And Reversitrol is available at www.naturalsolutionstore.bz.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I know that that's something that you're concerned about right now is sugar, and
Keeping
you've
an eye on my
actually
blood sugars. Yep.
you've been actually getting some good results of.
Yeah, and in trying to handle it trying to manage it. I don't know that it ever really goes away completely, but trying to manage it naturally but in consultation with my doctor.
Yes.
I'm visiting my doctor here in just a couple of weeks to kind of see how that's been going.
Wow. Well, you also have some. What are we celebrating today?
Well, the month of May is, and I've kept this one on. There's so many things that we celebrate this month, but one of my favorites is Date Your Mate Month, and Foster Care Month is also the month of May. And having come up through the foster care system, that's I appreciate that. So let's be available. Be available to help take care of these kids. Trust me, a good foster home can make a big difference in the life of a child.
So true.
Be Kind to Animals Month.
Yes. We should always be kind to animals.
Well, and in honor of our healthy guest here, it is National Salad Month.
A salad month. Yes.
And also National Bike Month. And on this day today, okay, this just sounds, sorry. Today is also International Hamburger Day
And brisket day.
and National Brisket Day.
I think we can have salad with brisket and hamburger. You know,
Yes,
that's a good balance.
Katie knows all of the food.
Yeah,
Yes.
Katie
She's
is
open
an
to all
expert.
foods.
Is
And
open to all
sometimes
foods.
meats are great for someone that's doing a low carb diet, like those that are struggling with their blood sugars.
Yeah.
But also on this date in 1818, the first steam vessel to sail the Great Lakes is launched. So those of us who also
Yes.
lived up around the Great Lakes, that was
It's a good time. I wasn't alive then, but I totally would, like, if I could pick then, I would.
Yes.
and the Great Lakes are a great place to be. You know, I remember back when you could almost walk across Lake Erie and go to Canada without having to go around.
I think you can
But
still
they've cleaned
do
it
that
up.
'cause of the high.
They have cleaned it up a lot. In 1889, Edouard and Andre Michelin incorporated the Michelin Tire Company.
Oh, I love the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
The
And on
Michelin
this date
Man.
in 1937, Volkswagen was founded. And it is Volkswagen, for those of you who
Volkswagen.
don't know, VW is German for people's car.
Yes. I love
My
people
grandpa had a
stuff.
different term for it.
Yeah. And birthdays today, at 1944, Rudy Giuliani was born. And in 1908, of Sean Connery, fame is Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming.
The author of the 007.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Ian
Okay.
Fleming.
I knew the name sounded familiar,
Right.
and I
Yes.
just couldn't place it.
I didn't
James
know
Bond.
we were going with Sean Connery because she's been in so,
So-
many,
so-
so many
Yes,
ideal
Bond.
movies.
So
James
from
Bond.
1908 to now, it's still going. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a pretty big.
What a
know-
legacy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and I think he didn't write those novels probably till post World War II because it's based on a secret agent who served during World War II in the British Secret Service. So
Oh,
I did not
I
know
do
that.
not know his name, but that is factual.
Yeah, I wonder if in 1908 he still had the cool, like, I don't know, what kind of car would you have in 1908?
1908, it would have been very early, if at
Yeah.
all, if you had
Yeah.
a car at all.
So he would have
Like
had
the
a
kind you had to
Stanley
like get out and crank. Yeah.
You know, the original Stanley steamer with the little...
Yeah.
Handle.
the Stanley Steamer, and somehow he had laser beams on top.
There we go.
Right.
Firing.
And rockets. And
That's some high tech stuff right there.
So I wonder if he had the vision for what Bond could be in there. So,
Right.
Exciting stuff we're celebrating, and we're also celebrating food.
Yes.
Gracie, why don't you introduce your special guest?
So this is Katie Baker, and she started this amazing business called The Gracious Plate, and it's very exciting. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Thank you for being here, Katie.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and she did bring us some snacks for us to try, but we'll talk a little bit about who she is, what she's doing. But yeah, basically, you can just tell us a little bit about The Gracious Plate and how it kind of got started.
Okay. The Gracious Plate right now is a meal prep and catering company based here in Springfield, Missouri. I got started January of 2018.
Wow.
And yeah, so about a year and a half ago, I started to provide meal options for people with food allergies and really families who just needed meals on the table. And so I started that just really to provide just a basic food option that most people could afford.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is like I've looked on your website. The prices are really affordable too. So, what does that look like for meals and for people who want to start doing that?
Yeah, currently I'm kind of shifting. I was doing personal chef clients for probably the past 9 months to a year, so it's been a little out of that price range, but starting in August I'll be offering family meals again, so it'll allow families of 2, 4, 6, all the way up till I guess whatever 10.
And I saw on your website where people are interested in that, they can go ahead and sign up. So when that
They'll get
starts
the
to become
updates in
available,
August.
Yeah. And I became familiar with Katie's work because she catered an event at my church, which we both go to. So, and it was just
Wow.
really cool. Everyone was raving. She had this mayonnaise that she made, and everyone was like blown because it wasn't mayonnaise. It was like flavorful mayonnaise.
I have clients that call it secret sauce.
Yeah.
So
Secret
it's-
sauce.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a more like a spicier. We had it with these really nice tacos as well. So
Yeah. Well, I honestly can say, Katie, someone like you would be a gift to our family because number one, I work all the time. And number two, I hate to cook. I mean, literally,
These are the
I
two
have.
things I hear all the time.
yeah, and me and my roommate we're like just discovering cooking, so we're very very excited and
So-
we love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so I mean, like for families like mine, who I mean, literally, we try to figure out, okay, how can we make this? You know, we always end up doing I guess, is it simply homemade when you get a rotisserie chicken and throw some frozen vegetables? I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mom's done that.
yeah. So
Been there.
when we have vegetables, you know, or if it's not like one pot, or if I actually physically cook a meal, which that's the thing is like I end up at the end of the night going, oh my goodness, it's 8:00. Go get yourself a ramen. I mean,
Right.
literally a pot noodle. We have them because I mean it's like
You
one
have
of the
to feed your children. I mean, this
yeah,
is a real-
exactly. And, you know, noodles are what college students live on. So, you know, and I know that's not the best, but, you know, we survived. But tell us like a little bit about your approach to healthy eating.
Yes, I try really to keep it like a basic meal, you know, a protein, a vegetable, a starch, a sauce. So when you have a meal, you don't feel like you're lacking. And I try to keep it to like, you know, mashed potatoes, like very normal foods. But I just keep all of the gluten out automatically. That's just my number one thing that I do with my company.
Wow.
Yeah, but then I also, you know, I just try to keep things really simple.
Wow.
Won't find any sugars, anything extra. It's pretty much just a basic spice mix that I use on all my vegetables and everything. And then I just try to
Wow.
use the least abrasive cooking techniques possible.
That's awesome. And you also she uses locally
Yes.
sourced food, which
Yep,
is
I
really
source at this point. I source probably 75 to 80% of my produce and proteins from local farmers,
wow.
with the exception of like olive oil and butter and things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean, I know that you can go in like a lot of the organic, uh, and it seems really really expensive actually. Some of it.
It can be, yeah.
How I mean, what are some tips and tricks you have for people who are working on that tight of a budget at like a family of 5, 7?
Right. A lot of times, honestly, I would say start with the meals that you know how to cook, that your family likes,
Uh-huh.
and then maybe find pre-cut vegetables like that. Like Aldi is really great for
Yeah.
already having pre-cut vegetables that are pre-bagged, and then that way you can throw together a quick stir fry because you're not having to do the chopping.
Yeah.
It's already there. You just pull out portions as you need it. And again, Aldi, Mama
Yeah.
Jean's, there's definitely organic options
Yeah.
that you can find.
I'm a huge fan
that
of
aren't super
Aldi.
expensive.
And their meat tends. My sister-in-law talked about how their meat is a different, like it's a better quality because it's European regulated. And then
Wow.
a lot of times I found with Aldi, you do have a shorter lifespan on your vegetables, so you do want to get them and cook them
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
soon, because they do go bad for some. I think it's just the way they process their food. But yeah, you can get like a yogurt for like 49 cents or just like
Really?
everything there is pretty, or it's like really easy to get organic stuff at Aldi.
What happened to
So-
Aldi's? Because I used
There's
to
one
think,
up on Carney.
I mean,
And they're
no,
building one on East
seriously.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
I used to see Aldi's as like, that's the place that you would go to for, everything
You have
cut,
to remember
right?
to bring
And-
your own bag though.
No,
which is good.
but I mean, I'm hearing like more and more people say go to Aldi's when that used to be like the one you wouldn't go to.
Yeah.
It'd be the
They've
like
really
the cash.
stepped up their game. They're
They-
really, yeah. In
Wow.
terms, especially in terms of organics, they've for the past year and a half, they've said by, 2019, 2020 will be all organic.
yeah.
No, like,
Wow.
no artificial sweeteners, like all sorts of stuff that they've promised,
Yeah.
and I think they've delivered on almost all of it.
Yeah, and they have like their own brand, so it's like, I mean, like if you want like a certain specific brand, like like you can't get Nutella at Aldi's or whatever. I have to go to Walmart to get Nutella, which
Yes.
is I'm okay with that because I need me my Nutella. So
You're willing to travel
yeah,
for Nutella.
Yeah, but all the other stuff, it's pretty easy to get there, or you can get chicken really cheap as well, and chicken's already very cheap. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I would also say for me, my husband, we've decided there's certain things that we will spend the money on.
Oh.
So maybe for us that is meat. We will spend money on ground beef, on chicken, things like that, and then go to Aldi for maybe everything else. So it can be really affordable. If I have families who have larger families, and how do I feed that many people? And it's maybe you learn how to break down a chicken, and I know it sounds really scary, but maybe you learn how to do other processes that help
yeah, and freezing.
cut down
I
costs.
freeze a lot of my food, but that's just because it's only 2 of us, and it takes us a lot longer to eat everything that we get. So
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So, what is like kind of like plate wise? What is like the budget for a good meal? What would you say for a family?
And my prices, or just across the board?
Well, actually, why don't you go with just across the board? If you're,
Okay.
you're, because we're like, okay, we have $150 to buy food for the week. A lot of us operate on those types of parameters. Is it possible to, get a decent meals for inexpensive? What would you say about plate costs?
I would say when I do my plate costs, it tends to be on the higher side because
Yeah.
everything is organic or local.
Yeah.
But I would say $5 would be a pretty reasonable plate cost per person. And if you have younger kids, obviously they might not eat as much, or if you have teenagers, they might eat all the food. But I would say $5 would be a pretty safe food cost.
For like a dinner or
Yeah, and I would say like a good portion as well. I wouldn't say it's gonna.
Yeah.
People are gonna be hungry afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you have something for us to
Yes.
try today.
This
Tell
is
us about it.
something I haven't made for a little bit because I haven't had regular families to cook for. But I make these little energy bites, and they're gonna taste kind of chocolatey. Even so, I figured why not start the morning off with some chocolate? But there is no actual chocolate in them. They are chia seeds, hemp hearts, cacao nibs, cocoa powder, almonds, dates, and almond butter.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow, that sounds
yeah, I
very.
think
I
Tom
don't know if
can
you want to
actually have
try
that.
these if you're talking right now, but
No, I will
leave-
try it. Let's
Okay.
try them because
Okay.
we like to chew and talk at the same time.
That is a
You ready?
regular part of our
This
show.
is our sound.
I'm just
the
excited for Tom to be able to indulge because
yeah, there's no added sugar of
There's
any
no
kind.
added sugar.
No sugar?
Nope.
Okay.
yeah, I think my
So it's
mom has
carb
had something
friendly?
like this.
It's pretty carb friendly. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It does look like little meatballs.
It does.
I think my mom has made something like this before.
Come over here, Matt.
Reminds me of truffles.
Grab a meatball.
Yeah, they're like healthy truffles.
Protein.
There you
Yeah.
go, healthy truffles.
Look
Yes.
at this.
That's what I was gonna say. Truffles.
Okay, come on. Yeah, he's our producer taster. We always say that in the morning.
So we need to
Okay.
pass one back over to the guests there.
Yeah, pass it over to the guys. Okay. So,
It's really good. Sorry, I already went for it.
No, you're fine.
I give the most detailed assessments, so you
Mhm.
have to try it. Starter. I love the salt, how it comes and goes throughout the, like interweaves its way through the.
You can taste the barley too.
mm.
As a former beer drinker,
Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it doesn't taste like beer, but I can definitely taste the barley.
It does taste like a.
Folks, that really is good. That's a good bite.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of dream cookie. You know, the ones that are. But. Because you wouldn't know that chocolate's not in it.
No, it's just very cocoa-y.
Mm-hmm.
But it complements the rest of the whatever's happening inside of it well. Because I know you said there's a lot of nutty ingredients, which is really fun too. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something different, maybe differently from the way that Gracie said it, is you bite into it and you think that you've got a sense of the flavor of it, but then something else kind of bursts.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things
Through.
woven in there.
So as you're chewing it,
Yeah.
it's like different.
You're like,
Nuances
is
of
it salty,
the
is
flavor.
It savory? And it's good because, a lot of times when people are trying to, cut out things, they're talking about, potato chips and stuff like that.
Cookies, little snacks like that.
And this like hits all of those checkpoints that you look for when you're looking for a snack. So,
And I make other ones that are spirulina, which is kind of a green algae like, so you get them and they're like bright teal. And then other ones that are matcha for green tea lovers.
matcha is so like popular right now. It's very, very trendy.
Yeah.
I still haven't consumed as much matcha.
Do you
as,
need any water, Gracie?
yeah, I'll take a water.
Here I'm crunching.
Thank you.
We're
want a
always
water?
I'm okay.
Okay.
no, we're always crunching on the show by the mic.
Yeah, and I remember Katie's also had interviews done by you can check out her talks with
Springfield Business Journal.
Springfield
Yep.
Business Journal and Feast magazine, and they covered I think it was you placed second in. You competed in a competition to help you with other cooks. So explain that a little bit.
So when I was going through the culinary program at OTC, I competed in a Skills USA program through the college, and I did it 2 years in a row. The first year it was kind of on a whim. They needed a fill-in, and I said, sure, I'll do it. And I was only in my first year of classes, and I placed second. And then I did it again the next year, and I placed first and went from state on to nationals, which was very, very interesting. I didn't know what to
Wow.
expect. You get there, and it's this, it was in Louisville, Kentucky, and it's in this big arena.
Wow.
And I did not do as well as I would have hoped at nationals. But it's pretty crazy when you think you're putting out your best plate, and there's still, and for me it's inspiring that there's still other student chefs who are much better than you. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was just surprised because you hear about the cooking shows like on TV, but I didn't know we just had them like regular.
Yeah, and there's a local one called Show Me Chefs as well, and I have not participated in that one.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool though, and I had read about that, but I wanted to hear like the conclusion because I knew that you had gone on to nationals, so I wanted to hear about how you did
It was
that.
a cool experience. I think the number one thing that's a takeaway for that, I guess, is you have to get to a point with that where you're ultimately competing against yourself. You're just trying to always get better and refine your skills. So
you're creating your own taste and your own
Right.
your own brand. And so
Yeah.
it's very much about how can I better my brand and how it reflects my cooking, and not necessarily like
Right.
how can I be better at someone else's
or what are
cooking.
the judges going to like? Or, I mean, who knows what the judges are going to like sometimes. So you're just
Exactly.
They're like,
cooking.
actually, I don't like mustard, and you're like, why are you
great.
here?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, it's so exciting, and you go to her website, and it's beautiful. I mean, it makes you hungry when you go there.
Thanks.
It's lovely, and
Some quality
definitely.
spreads there.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you hear a lot about, you know, these farm to table restaurants. It's really nice to have someone local that
Yes.
is doing stuff and contributing back to the community and really familiar with our local sourcers and bringing that into the families. Thank you, Katie, for
Yeah.
being with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
staying local.
Thank you
yes.
for staying local. Yes. So again, Katie's website.
Yeah, it's www.thegraciousplate.com.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining
thanks
us
for having
today.
me.
And we are going to be on our way to our next guest after our natural solution.
All righty. Well, our next one that we're going to be talking about is milk thistle. And we'll keep this short because we
Yeah.
want to keep our call-in guest waiting. Milk thistle is a natural substance that provides skin health. It also helps detoxify the liver and pancreas to control diabetes. That just seems to be a common theme today. Detoxifies the liver, supports healthy liver function, aids the liver in cellular regeneration, boosts immune response, and it's a powerful antioxidant, has properties that neutralize free radicals. And you can get milk thistle at www.naturalsolutionstore.bz.
Well, we have an exciting guest. As I said, we actually two guests I'm just finding out. Pam and Bill Farrell. I don't know if you guys know the awesome book, Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Spaghetti.
Yeah, I read Chad Eastman's rendition of that in high school, and it was like life-changing for me. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Well, it's so awesome that as a part of the Advanced Writers and Speakers Association, we get to rub shoulders with these people
Yes.
and be a part of this group.
Yeah, and Joy's been so busy cultivating a lot of great work. So
Yeah, and it's exciting to also have that opportunity. Hi, Pam. This is Amber.
And this is Tom.
Hi, Amber. It's
is
Bill
Gracie.
and I together.
I
Woo!
know. I was saying we have a bonus guest. This is awesome.
yes, we're so excited to have you on the show today.
Thanks. Great
Well,
to be here.
We were saying how awesome it is for us to be able to work with you, Pam. We work with the Advanced Writers and Speakers Association. You're a columnist with the Leading Hearts magazine. Just super talented. I mean, it blows me away that we have this level. We work with these guys. And
Yes.
Pam, you're in sunny California. Is it sunny out there right now?
It is beautiful. We live on a boat,
Mhm.
and it's so pretty here right now. I wish everybody could come for vacation. And we love working with you because you're so talented. You make everything we do look and feel so much better.
Oh, thank you, Pam. Pam is amazing, and her husband Bill. Hi, Bill. Well,
Hi, good to be with you. Glad
this-
to be the bonus guest for this morning.
yeah, you're the bonus guests. How exciting we are to be with it. And as Pam said, they recently relocated to boat life. They
Yes.
sold their house and
Oh my goodness! So they're on. So they're
they
on the
live
boats.
on
Live
the
on the
boat.
boat.
Live on the boat.
It's a good life. My parents and I live by a lake, so we like hanging out on boats and
Yeah.
Yeah.
rafting
Yeah.
things when we can.
Yeah.
We're more river people, but yeah.
So has being on the boat changed you guys as far as how you do do life as a veteran married couple, and I think grandkids. I mean grandparents.
Yeah,
You know.
now we have grandkids. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it was not as big a change for us as it would be for most couples because we travel so much doing conference work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were gone from home half the year anyway.
And hotel rooms are boats bigger than a hotel room.
It actually feels like coming home to vacation for us. And about the time the boat feels small, we leave again to go do another conference.
Right, right. So it's a
Wow.
little easier for us, and the boat is also a happy oasis. The reason we downsized and sold everything,
Hmm.
mostly gave everything away to ministry couples,
Oh wow.
because Bill's parents are 90 and they need
Wow.
a lot of attention and care. So our boat is like a little happy oasis
Wow.
in the middle of a lot of responsibility.
And you all need to
Yeah.
know that Pam is about half mermaid.
Yeah, yeah.
Wants to be in the water and on the water. So
Kayak to get
Aw.
my mail every day. It's like that's the nice part. I just talk to God and paddle over and get happy, envelopes and pray.
So
That is so fun, and it's so popular right now for people to be downsizing. So
yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and Pam, we know well from Bill, you're part mermaid, but you're also a cheerleader, which is really important for a wife. You know, she can actually do handsprings. That's one
I
of the things.
I'm honestly not surprised.
It's
That
a
sounds-
skill.
that
It's a
sounds
skill.
super cool.
It's
so.
a
My
skill.
son, when he was about 10 or 11, we bought a trampoline and I did a backflip and I taught him how to do a backflip. And he's like, Mom, you're like so cool. And
She's
so
the
I
cool
said,
mom.
Yeah.
so if I can't do a backflip anymore, will I lose my coolness? And he's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
every year I try it once, So this year I turned 60. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, so I can still do a backflip off a diving board.
That's
and off a
awesome.
trampoline.
Well, so in a segue to a great point, Bill, how has Pam's cheerleading? I mean, that's a pretty important part of a marriage. How has that been for you as a husband? Having someone like Pam be your cheerleader.
well, I almost hate to give away the secret because I think you ladies are still trying to figure out how much influence you have, but I have to tell you that having a wife who not only believes in what I do, but voices it in a way that's very encouraging,
Yes.
it's one of the most empowering things in my life.
Wow.
That there is, like her words go straight to my heart.
Yes.
And the words are, Bill, you got it. I believe in you. You can make this happen.
Wow.
The only thing that brings more focus and energy to my life is my relationship with Jesus.
Wow.
So
And
it is a huge thing. And conversely,
mhm.
when it's criticism, it also goes to the heart.
That
And
is-
I think it comes from the same place. I think women criticize their husbands and encourage their husbands in it from the same place
wow.
because they want to help make life better for their husband.
Right, so it's all good. We want to make life better. We talk a little bit about that, and men are like waffles and like spaghetti because we do have differences in the way that God wired us. And goes back to the garden. Eve
Yeah.
wanted to make things better. She just didn't do it in the right way.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things, sometimes I hate being spaghetti, Pam, because, spaghetti slips off the plate, more easily than the waffles do. I can usually, that's what I found. I feel like sometimes I'm the spaghetti slipping off the plate, and the waffles seem much more stable, even though the syrup kind of irritates you sometimes when it also slips off the plate. How do you balance that? I mean, the spaghetti and the waffles doesn't seem like it goes together very well. But how do you, as a couple, learn to balance each other when you're slipping off the plate?
Right. Delight in the differences. Yeah, Genesis 1:27 says God made us male and female. So it was on purpose. It was before the fall. So God created us to work in communion with each other. And so to get the word picture and to understand the cooperative, like how we can cooperate to make things better.
Uh-huh.
If you look at the way a man's mind thinks,
Well, the way a typical man processes information in life, it looks like a waffle with a bunch of boxes all separated by one another from walls. And we as men, we put one issue in life in each box, and
Oh,
we
wow.
deal with one issue at a time.
One.
And like, so like when a man is at work, he's at work. He's thinking about work. He's doing work. He's focused on work. That's all he's doing.
Oh, wow.
And when he's taking time to spend time with his wife, he's just thinking about his wife, focused on his wife, and he's not mixing everything together.
and when he's watching TV, he's watching
course.
TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think it is so interesting. Just talking about, you know, what you guys, something I read Chad Easton's rendition in high school, and it just, you know, kind of blew my mind a lot. But I think like the big takeaway, because Chad was like, obviously everyone's different, like understanding that everyone's gonna be different because we are different, and it comes from like the book. I felt like really just approaches understanding, you know, trying to give an understanding of the other person so you can work together.
Yeah.
You know, for Chad's book, it's more like for teenagers just being like, okay, what is the opposite gender even like? So it's a little bit different, but I absolutely loved it. It was so cool.
Yeah, Chad, he's so sweet. He asked to co-author with us because he wanted to take the message to teens. And we're like, that is awesome. We're 100% with you, Chad, on that.
Yeah.
So we loved co-authoring with him, and he's a delightful speaker. And, you know, so men, because they compartmentalize, they're problem solvers. They see what the problem is, let's get action on it, and then move to the new box. And where we women, we have more connections between the two sides of our brain.
Yeah.
And so that's why our mind is like spaghetti, and we can travel from topic to topic to topic to topic, and we travel through making emotional connections to the people and things that matter most to us. And that is why you two girls are like amazing multitaskers. I mean, you can be on the phone doing an interview, you got your art going, you have your different clients, you're you know, making dinner, you are, you know, talking to your kids, and we can do so many things at one time. You know, you're the spaghetti, open the oven door with our foot, washer and dryer, fold the laundry. I mean, we are amazing multitaskers, and that's a gift, and especially in today's world that's so digital. So when we see the opposite gender as a gift and delight in those differences, then we can delegate things out according to, you know, what we do well, and then we get along better, and then everybody's happy in the house.
Yeah, well, you know, I have the experience of what my husband says is my spaghetti is disorder. Like, like it's like, you know, you're actually what people say as a gift would be classified as a disorder in your case. You know, and how do you line those up? Because also on my spaghetti is I have bipolar type 1. I hit in the manic, so that is multitasking on a whole new gifting level. And it was so funny when my counselor sit down with me and Philip, and they said, you have to realize you're communicating to your wife not only through the spaghetti, you're communicating through this layer of topping that is unique to her mind, you know?
Yeah.
And I think because he really seeks to not only know that, but he sees that when I kind of go into my mode of, okay, we got to get this. He's like, okay, I understand. And he'll understand, like, if he puts his hand on my arm, like I respond to touch, to calm. And I think that's what I love about him is he really seeks to understand and recognize when I am in my mode of my, you know, my mental health. And he's like, okay, honey, we're going to just check these off the list and go down, not a patronizing way. I think just in I'm going to calm you down, and I know what the things are to go through.
I feel like it's so important. Like, obviously, it's like so important to have someone in your life that gets you. Like, in
Yeah.
your spouse, but also just like having friends that get you. But my brothers are both married now, and having spouses that accept and appreciate them and love them for who they are is, has
Yeah.
dramatically changed how
Yeah.
they see and approach the world and see themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that their wives would say the same things about themselves, but just like
Yeah.
as someone who's grown up with them and seen them.
Okay, so Bill and Pam, what were some of the things that personality wise you grew first was annoying and then you grew to appreciate about your spouse?
Trick question.
Amber, in a lot of ways, I'm wired. Like you, like super creative. That part we have a lot in common.
Yes.
I have a type A driver inside of me that happened because my dad was an alcoholic. So I always thought that if I like perform, then I would be loved. And so Bill is my calming, I call him my rudder in life. And he makes sure that we go in the right direction, that I have so many ideas that I value that he helps me sort through them. Oftentimes he'll just wrap his arms around me and say, I'm in this with you. What do you need me and the boys to do in order for you to succeed in this? And so I hear what you're saying about valuing your husband, because my husband does a lot of those wonderful same things for me too.
Yeah.
And your question is interesting about what used to be irritating that we now appreciate.
Yes.
The way marriage really works is that the thing you love most about your spouse is the thing that irritates you the most. It never actually goes away.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Like I love Pam's spontaneity. She is great fun to be with. There are times that we just like, she sees an opportunity and we go after it, and I think, man, this is the greatest thing on earth. And there's other times that spontaneity drives me crazy because I'm more of a plan.
Yeah.
And so it's just a constant journey. I will always appreciate Pam's spontaneity, and I will always struggle to not be irritated by it.
And Bill, the thing I fell in love with him is he's like an amazing listener. He's very compassionate and empathetic, and he's very wise. I mean, people all over the world seek out his wisdom.
Wow.
So I love that, but
it's inefficient.
It's very inefficient. So he's always running like 10 or 15 minutes late, thus the irritation,
Oh wow.
Yeah. So one time I was with a friend, and she was over at my house doing a Bible study because she had a lot of questions about God. And Bill was going to bring the car van over, and we were all going to go to the beach at a certain time. Well, he was
running late
as usual.
And in between my office and our house is a flower stand where I can get short stem roses for $5. So that since I'm late, I'm going to make a big entrance.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome.
So
he knows what to do.
Roses, and he gives me a kiss and the car keys, and he says, hey, I'll load up the stuff for the beach. And my friend stopped him in his tracks and said, whoa, wait a minute. So Pam, you've been talking to me about this God of love. Okay, so did this God of love make Bill bring you those flowers? I said, yeah, you could probably say that. She's like, all right, now I want to know your God. So
Wow.
It's powerful. It's powerful when we accept those differences and value those differences. It's like our love, our marriage, our families become a lighthouse of love in a world that desperately needs what love looks like.
One thing that struck me when you were talking, Pam, about Bill, is how you said he just kind of puts his arms around you and just really. And I think the thing about it is sometimes we see the guy in the marriage as the rough and tumble disciplinarian, but men should be applauded for their qualities that are the nurturing qualities, because guys really do have that. I remember
my dad's very soft spoken. Like my dad is like the chill, like just trugging along, like steadfast dude. That's my dad.
Yeah. And
he did not fit like this, like the stereotype dad growing up. I was like, he's just so much more chill.
And for putting just putting your arms around people, just recognizing that sometimes even when and I know that with even Philip, sometimes it's just okay, he will, reach over this morning. I know we hate getting out of the house, My husband's legally blind, so we have to travel everywhere together, which
Oh, wow.
sometimes everywhere with 3 girls. You know, we have 3 girls, one getting ready to go to college, which is a totally different dynamic for us. But we've always traveled together. So the car has always been the most stressful place. But sometimes he'll just reach over and grab my hand and just give me a squeeze or put his arm around me in the car. And all of a sudden it grounds me. So those nurturing qualities of guys that you give your wives is so incredible. And don't forget to be affectionate. You know, I think that that's the thing. People need affection. People need
Touch.
not,
Mhm.
they not only need the words of I love you. Don't forget to kiss your spouse. Don't forget to hug your spouse. Don't forget to love on your spouse. Because you can go days and days and days and say, oh my gosh, I don't even think I've kissed you in 3 or 4 days. And that's
Bill and I-
important.
It's
That's
super important. It is. That's why Bill and I kiss each other every time we say grace. Like it's
Oh,
hard to
wow.
be mad at somebody when you kiss them 3 times a day.
Every
Yeah.
When
day.
you're with them. And we found out when I was doing 52 ways to wow your husband, found out some amazing statistics. Like Bill found out that men
who kiss their wives before they go to work live 5 years longer than men who won't do it.
yeah. And so
wow.
you live longer kissing your wife. And then I found a great stat about a 5-second hug lowers the stress and raises the confidence level of the person you're hugging. So even 5 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard
Wow.
the thing about the 5-second hug. It just because that's time to release those. I guess it's like I'm not a science person, but there's those chemicals that are released. I think they
Yeah.
talk about you guys talk about it in your book or whatever. Yeah,
Exactly.
the endorphins.
Well, we're gonna let's allow our spaghetti to refrain and let Tom waffle into the conversation.
Well, I was just thinking that a lot of times what some of the ladies may not realize is some of the basic needs of a guy is just very, very simple, and it is like one of my I want to love and be loved,
Wow.
and that kind of just boils everything right down.
Yeah.
There's something within us that wants to have that object of our affection, but then also to have that reciprocated, to have that come back, to give completely, and to be given to completely.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and in the context of marriage, that is the greatest expression that we're wired that way. That's the way that it was set up back in the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
And that may be an oversimplification, Bill, but I
That's the way we think, Tom.
Yep.
We see
It's all pretty
It's
simple
us.
for us.
you've got your love compartment and your beloved compartment.
We're loving, we're good.
And the third compartment after raising 3 boys is the carne asada box.
Yeah.
The carne asada block.
Life could be solved with either carne asada or brownies.
Yes. And my wife is a great baker. Yes.
Yes, it's awesome. You know, Tom, we're just even in, you know, creating lasting love, and it's amazing to hear from, you know, people like Tom and Pam and you and Bill, how you know, really is relationships right now are seen as disposable. You know, if you
Right.
in a few years, if you don't really care for someone or something, it's okay to turn off and go to the next one. And I found that in the most friction ladled traversing of torturous, fiery times, that when we put it into the hands of God and we allow, I think too, my husband gave me a lot of grace during times where I was probably at my sickest level. He gave me so much grace to be sick, to realize that I was at a, and at the end of it, I loved him so much more for that, for his grace.
Oh, sure. Yes. Mercy, grace earns such a place in our hearts.
Yes.
Someone loves us for who we are and walks us through to a stronger place. Wow. And that's a gift. It's amazing. You have a great husband.
Yeah.
You definitely should be mentoring men. I think that
Yeah,
would be
mentoring
awesome.
men.
I love that my husband speaks for Promise Keepers Canada and Iron Sharpens Iron. So he spends a lot of time with men. Because I do think there's a camaraderie. Guys want to please their wives. When I was doing 52 Ways to Wow Your Husband, the men on the set and on the scenes were so encouraged just because they saw that there was a group of women that wanted to figure out who a guy was and love him for who he was. And vice versa, when we are loved as women for our uniqueness, a special bond is built. Yeah.
Well, really quickly, let's wrap up. But they're re-releasing the book. Correct. The minute.
I would say give us an update on what's going on in your world right now. Not only about the book, but if people want to contact you about coming to be a speaker or speak to a conference or seminar or whatever, boy, we want to make sure that our audience knows about those kind of things.
Sure. So Bill and I are traveling the world still doing conferences for marriage and family. And I speak to women, Bill speaks to men. On various topics, but Men Are Like Waffles, Like Spaghetti. This is the 20th anniversary edition, and that book has now been translated into 15 plus languages. Wow. Churches can use it so we have a video curriculum, so small groups can use it. Then there's a singles version, a teenage version.
Yeah,
it's the gift that keeps giving because it's based on God's truth. Men and women, we are unique. DNA, estrogen, testosterone, God factored it all in, and we can delight in those different.
People will always long to be in a marriage that works.
Yeah.
So there are always ways to help them do it better.
That's
so
exciting.
Here's like a quick tip for how to manage stress, because we manage stress differently. So the way women manage stress,
they talk through stress.
Yes.
You bring up everything related to it. Yeah, talk it through.
I'm a verbal processor, so I relate with that.
So if I'm stressed out, my mom knows it, my sister knows it, my best friend knows it, the clerk at Walmart will know it. So a husband will gain points if he just sits down and listens and lets his wife, spaghetti through her life and catch him up.
Guys, there's nothing to solve. Just let her work through it.
Guys are very different how they manage stress. They like to go to their favorite easy boxes to rest and recharge. And God kind of helped us girls out so we could recognize these favorite recharging boxes in that they're shaped like boxes. The TV screen shaped like a box, the computer screen, the football field, the basketball court, the pool table, the refrigerator, and the bed are all shaped like a box. So
yes.
Let him have his box time to
exactly. That's so thankful that you guys could spend time with us today. Thank you for being on the show. Love-wives.com. You can check out Bill and Pam and all the resources that they have. Thank you, guys. Have great boat time today. God bless you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And also, Pam is a regular contributor to Leading Hearts magazine.
Yes.
Leading Hearts. That's not Bleeding Hearts. Leadinghearts.com. And you can see her in every issue.
Yeah. And she's coming out with a new Bible study called Joy in Philippians. So it's a coloring. If you ever wanted to find yourself doodling in the margins of your Bible or your journal, now you can just get a coloring book and it takes you through Philippians in a joyful way. So
and we only have a few seconds left.
Yes, so it's about time to do the outro.
And it is time to do the outro. Well, thank you guys for being with us today.
Yeah.
And we'd like to thank Katie Baker from the Gracious Plate for being with us and giving us that extra protein boost. And thank you, Bill and Pam Farrell.
Yes.
for calling in from your boat in California. We're all jealous.
So
I think I'm going to go take a boat to that puddle in Westport Park.
Can you imagine the sunsets?
Yes, exactly. Well, until next time, this is Amber
And this is Tom.
And Gracie.
saying step into the sunshine and find something to celebrate today. Take care.